Damn, we got a woman kidnapper, bro. We really got a woman kidnapper, bro. We're crazy. Let's get right to the video, though. But before we get into the video, anybody that that don't fuck with me and watching the video, I want you to know, fuck you. Know what I'm saying? But let's get straight to the video. But woman kidnapper is crazy. Know what I'm saying? Because they usually be like, oh, man, kidnapping people. Women be kidnapping. Women is widows. Know what I'm saying? Females could be widows, too. Kidnapping my young nigga. Know what I'm saying? Let's get straight to the video, though.
The woman you see here in this mugshot, get a good look at her face because she is accused of being a parent's worst nightmare. Law enforcement alleges that she tried to rip a young child from his grandmother's arms at a county.
Oh, fuck no. She was trying to goddamn kidnap, and she was trying to kidnap a little boy from her grandma. That's like probably like 60, 70 years old. That's crazy, bro. That's wild. Nah, then she smiling. No, keep her over there. You know what I'm saying? Keep her over there. Hell no.
Fair this week. And even scarier about this story is this alleged attack, according to law enforcement, was completely random. Police say she had no previous relationship with anyone who is involved in this story. And for as brazen as those allegations sound, we're just getting started when it comes to what police say went down this week at this fair. And I'll tell you what we're also learning about this suspect's past, including that she appears to have been out on probation at the time police say all of this happened. Let's get into it. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Maybe it's because I cover true crime for a living and we often talk about stories that are very important, but also very scary and very difficult to talk about that I feel this way. But as a parent...
Bro, what they got bro on here yapping, but I think he's about to tell us some shit. I don't pre-watch my videos, but I'm trying to skip past this shit. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go forget about some shit that y'all talking about. So I'm gonna skip past this nigga. So about right there. All right.
K. Dawson. What she's accused of doing on Monday night is the type of thing that keeps parents up at night and makes them worried when they go to places like a county fair, which as a parent, you should never feel that way when you're going to a place for kids that is supposed to be fun. And the fair we're talking about took place in Queen Anne's County, Maryland, which is located right across the Chesapeake Bay.
Bro, in Maryland? Bro, you don't really hear too much shit happening in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't, nigga. It's either Wisconsin, Chicago, or Florida. Them is the main places that should be going on. You know what I'm saying? Especially Wisconsin ass.
From Annapolis. You're looking at Dawson's mugshot. And when I looked at her mugshot, just her facial expression stood out to me. There was like a smirk on her face. It almost felt like there was a lack of remorse, which is shocking considering what she's accused of. The Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office says on Monday night they were called to the local county fair that's been going on there since 1942, and stuff like this just doesn't happen here, according to law enforcement. This fair is supposed to be a staple of the summertime in Maryland, as so many fairs are across the country. And this one doesn't appear to be the type of fair with like carnies and roller coasters. It's more of a livestock show, at least from the pictures that we saw on Facebook from years past. I'm just setting the scene for you. It also appears on Facebook that it's the kind of fair that is for young people. There are a lot of pictures of kids just having a good time in the summer at this fair. Okay, so we set the scene. Let's go to Monday night around 6 o'clock. And law enforcement says there was a grandmother with her grandson. She's holding onto her grandson's hand. They're in the goat barn, kind of like a petting zoo. And that is when the grandmother says she starts to feel the young boy being pulled away from her. Now, this is...
Bro, but like, from the grandma, it's crazy, bro. But like, I ain't even gonna lie, the whole time, she probably got an accomplice. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably told her to do this, or she just wanted to do it. You see how I wrote, you know what I'm saying? But I don't. But this looked like the face of somebody that thought she was gonna get away with the shit, and her ass looked like she the type of nigga to do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's truly wild.
Who the grandmother reportedly saw when she turned toward her grandson, according to WBOC TV, which got court documents. That suspect, Alexandra Dawson. Now, Dawson allegedly picked that boy up, put a baseball hat on his head, and then she tried to allegedly run away with that child. Terrifying.
Hell no. That's some trafficking shit. That's why I don't be goddamn trusting nobody. Like, I be having what's called my nephews and nieces and shit. Somebody walk up, I be like, bag the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Bag your ass up. We not doing that shit today. That's some trafficking shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Fuck no. And then the grandma nigga, fuck no. Sometimes I'm a big black nigga. She wouldn't have tried that shit with me. And bro, the grandma probably like old and shit, bro. That's fucking crazy. That's truly crazy, bro.
Now, the grandmother appears to have, according to what we're being told, fought back, probably with everything she could to try to stop Dawson from allegedly getting away with her grandson. And that is when someone who appears to be the hero in this story stepped in to help save this child. A man saw the altercation, he stepped in, and not only did he make sure that boy was able to get back safely with his grandmother and family, but he also held Dawson's arm to make sure
Bro, this man just saved so many kids because she don't give a fuck about getting caught. She look like she got the face of a motherfucker that's like, shit, I knew I was gonna get caught eventually ass face. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking no. So I'm saying, good somebody was there. You know what I'm saying? Not sure ass up with the quickness.
she didn't get away before deputies arrived. Now, fortunately, the local sheriff does appear to have a presence at this fair, so presumably they were able to get to this situation quickly. They say they first detained total of 4 people. They say it appeared that Dawson was at this fair with 3 other people. At this point, we don't know much about them or any relationship they had with Alexandra Dawson. But after investigating, law enforcement says Dawson acted alone. She's the only one who's charged in this case. Any attempted kidnapping is obviously terrifying. It's a terrifying story to tell as a parent, but what makes this one really stand out is that law enforcement says that Dawson had no relationship with that family, no relationship with the young boy. They believe this was a random attempted kidnapping. And she just allegedly saw this child.
I don't think it was random. I think it's some trafficking shit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. That's just my opinion. Hell no.
And tried to rip him away from his grandmother. This wasn't even a case, which also would have been very bad, where you have a child that maybe wanders away from the family and then...
Bro, not... yeah, I can talk shit. Fuck this bitch. What's it called? She look like a crackhead. I ain't even go bullshit y'all. She look like she smoked weed. Look like she smoked crack. She look like a crackhead. Know what I'm saying? Hell no. From a grandma, know what I'm saying? I'm just talking shit, but nigga, from a grandma's crazy, bro. Know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking with old people is crazy to me. Know what I'm saying? Like, I be hearing people talk crazy about like, oh yeah, all this other type of shit. Fuck no, nigga. From old people is crazy, nigga. From any doing shit to anybody is crazy to me. But I'm talking about especially old people, bro. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Sadly, a predator would try to target them. That wasn't the case here. These allegations are brazen, to say the least. So, who is the person? You might be wondering who would be responsible for something like this, of course, allegedly at this point. And we were wondering the same thing. So we looked up in Maryland court records, Alexandra K. Dawson, and not only did we find the charges that she is facing in this case, and that she's currently being held without bond for. Those charges, by the way, kidnapping a child under the age of 16. At this point, we don't know the identity of the boy. That is obviously often protected from the public, but we also don't know his age, so we don't know how young he was. She's also facing second-degree assault and disorderly conduct. But we also found this is not the first time that she has reportedly been arrested, and she currently has open cases against her. In fact, court documents say she's currently out on probation related to a reckless endangerment case out of Queen Anne's County, Maryland.
Let me see. Reckless endangerment of a child, misdemeanor. I don't know. I don't know. That's crazy. Probation cause, yes. Offense, a date from, but 16 to 16. ACN. Offers ID. Expulsion. It look like they X'd a lot of shit out, but yeah, let's keep pushing. Therefore, start date, jail term 5 years, suspended term 4 years, days. So she probably did like a year. I don't know.
At this point, we don't have the court documents showing the specifics of that, who the victim might be, the circumstances surrounding it, but these online records show that she entered a guilty plea in February of this year, and she was sentenced to 18 months probation. But that's not all. We also found an active shall not contact order out of Anne Arundel County, Maryland, which is across the Chesapeake Bay near Annapolis. That was
Damn, she been running around on a crime spree. Hell no.
against Dawson in a domestic violence case. It was filed in December of last year. It is valid through January 8th of next year. And then there's another shall not contact order listed that was filed in December. It was valid through June of this year. That was out of Glen Burnie County, Maryland, also on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay from Queen Anne's County, Maryland, where this allegedly took place at the fair. It's unclear who the victims are in these cases and certainly a lot of the circumstances. That case is listed as closed, but it certainly paints a little bit of the picture of the legal trouble that this suspect has been in the past. Before we get back to this case out of Maryland, in this episode of On the Case, I want to take a moment and talk about our partners at Morgan and an attorney. More than 512 million, $1,000 only. Fight for what you clicks. Or Dawson's Facebook.
Morgan ass nigga.
We did find Dawson's Facebook page, and she appears to be in a relationship with someone who earlier this month, actually just a couple of days ago on August 10th, she wrote, quote, "Did you know that you're the most precious thing on this earth, and I'm super grateful for you." That's a very different type of person compared to the individual who police say tried to snatch a young boy from the arms of his grandmother at random at a county fair. So with that said, it is always important to note that everything that we're talking about here are allegations, and Dawson is innocent until proven guilty, and there certainly is a lot to know. We have not heard her side to the story. Now, the sheriff in Queen Anne's County did include this statement when he announced the arrest of Dawson, saying, quote, "The quick thinking and immediate actions of child's family, community members, and fair staff combined with the pre-coordinated safeguards and emergency response protocols established by the sheriff's office and the 4-H board allowed our deputies to respond within moments. Thanks to the strong community partnership and preparedness, we were able to bring the situation to a safe and timely."
Yeah, first of all, bro, she fucked with a child, like, goddamn. Like, first a child, and she fucking with an old person? Hell no, bro. Fuck no. That's an extra fuck no. Dead ass. That's an extra fuck no, bro. Telling you.
Resolution, ensuring the safety and security of everyone involved. We want to thank our community for all your support and assistance in providing timely information to assist us in our investigations, end quote. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about this case is Police Sergeant Kyle Schoberg, the host of the Shots Fired podcast. Thank you for taking the time, as always, to be with us here on Law and Crime. This case, it's just, for it to also be, according to police, just a random act that she didn't know the victim in this case. I mean, just how often do you see stories like this where there's just no connection?
I would say, this is a stranger kidnapping type of case. Those are unusual, but I have seen cases similar to this where strangers have tried to abduct smaller kids. And what it boils down to, in my experience, is sometimes these people are under the influence of drugs, alcohol, mental health issues, and sometimes they don't know exactly what they're doing. But in this case, just looking at her booking photo, that may have been a reason for her to go ahead and try to take this little boy.
Yeah, that booking photo stood out to me too. It was like this.
But I don't know. If you act one way while you drunk, that's the way you want to act. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you act one way acting drunk, that's the way you really want to act. And you ain't got no filter or no barrier to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're drunk as shit. So that's the type of person she is. You know what I'm saying?
smirk on her face, and we don't know, police have not said whether they believe that there's any sort of drugs involved, or we know that she has a criminal record, but any sort of mental health issues. But I mean, for you, and you've been in the room, I'm sure many times these booking photos are taken. How do you typically read when you see a booking photo like that, as you're trying to assess a case and what police say happened?
Well, I mean, you look at a booking photo like that, and you're looking at, we're trained to look at people's pupils and see if they're under the influence of maybe drugs or alcohol or whatever. So, I mean, you can, as law enforcement officer, you can look at somebody and look at their eyes, which is very telling, and be able to determine that. So, when I look at a booking photo and I see somebody who looks like that or appears like that, those are the things that I look at to maybe, I don't want to use the term justify what happened, but maybe give me a little bit of an inkling or a clue as to maybe why this happened. So, and it looks like someone gave her a shiner because she had a big old black eye going on. So,
yeah, there is a lot to take in just from that booking picture, and a lot to take.
Somebody gave her a shiner. I ain't never heard that shit before. I'm about to start using that. Oh, buddy, boy, I gotta give you a shiner. Boom. Funny as hell.
In from apparently how all this went down, where you have this grandmother. We don't know the age of the victim in this case, but Dawson is accused of being able to pick him up and walk away with him, or at least try to. So I don't think we're talking. We know he's under 16, but probably under the age of a teenager. In these types of cases where you have like an attempted kidnapping, I guess how out of the ordinary is it for it to just be it just stood out to me how brazen this was. This wasn't like this kid wandered away from his family and then you have that predator that's there waiting for him. In this case, it was he's holding the hand of his grandma and she allegedly tried to just rip him away.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, usually when stuff like that happens, the person clearly is not in the right headspace of what they're trying to do. And so, but it does, as a parent, I mean, it really makes you be cautious about who your surroundings, who's around your kids. I mean, keeping an eye on them. That's a really scary thought to think that you can't go to a fair and have someone there to try to take your kid while you're holding their hand. I mean, imagine if the grandma wasn't holding his hand. And then the thought is, well, what was this lady going to do with them after she took the kid? Because if I read the article correctly, it said she put a hat on the boy, or maybe to try to disguise him. I don't know, but yeah, so very bizarre. That is clearly not normal. And so that was my thought was, well, what was her next move? And I'm glad that the grandma had physical contact of him, because it's so easy. And I've seen it happen before where, you turn your back from your kid for 1 second and then you turn around and they could be gone. And so that's a scary thought.
And apparently there was a good Samaritan that was there that stepped in, saw this altercation that was taking place, was able to make sure the kid got back to his grandma, but also grabbed allegedly her arm and kept her there until police were able to arrive. How often can that, though, be like a slippery slope? Because as much as that's like your second nature thing you want to do, and you want to make sure police can get the person that you perceive.
Nah, if I see somebody try to grab up a child, bro, and like fucking with the grandma and shit and do all this extra shit, I don't give a fuck if I get charged with goddamn what's called disorderly conduct or some bullshit. I'm bear hugging a motherfucker like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, motherfucker, come here. Oh, dog. No Diddy, no Diddy. No Diddy, gang. No Diddy. Yeah, but then I don't give a damn. If I gotta hold you, nigga, if I gotta tackle your ass, you know what I'm
saying? As being bad, if she hadn't done anything and you're as just a regular citizen detaining someone, what does the law say about that?
Well, as a citizen, you are allowed to make citizens arrests, and cops are mandated to take those arrests from the citizen itself. And so I think, I look at this and I think to myself, well, thank goodness that a Good Samaritan did step in and help this grandma and this young boy. But as far as detaining somebody, I mean, they have every right to hold her down in any physical capacity they need to keep her there, to wait for law enforcement to show up to effect the arrest. And I'm glad that they did do that, because you don't want somebody like that out on the loose. A lot of times we do go to calls and people
do the same
they'll give us the information, but those people are gone. And so now you got to try to track those people down. It's often very difficult. Most of the time you don't. And so I'm glad that they did their part and held her down and waited for cops to show up.
Oh, absolutely. I am too. I feel like there are some times then you hear the story that, it seems like There's times that
They ain't talk about shit. We're crazy.